All right, we are back. Good evening. I'm Brother Washington Muhammad, and this is the CSRN Weekly Podcast, our video minutes, where we talk about some of the things that we did last week, the things that we're planning right now, and some of the things that we got planning in the future. As I said before, I'm Brother Washington Muhammad, one of the co-founders of CSRN, along with Mike Leonardi and Drabil Bay. They came up with this idea of having solid community solidarity day, and they wanted to address some issues in the community, and they didn't want it to be based in politics or religion. And they found a really good blend, Jody, of a really good balance of being able to do that, where you can advocate for justice, equality, and freedom. And you don't have to be a politician or a church person. You could just be like us, whatever the heck that is. I use the pronoun he and him. And today I have on a black shirt, black button-up sports shirt. I've got on my gray beanie, winter hat. I've got on my thick rimmed brown glasses. I'll have my optical glasses on next week. Give a shout out to Kristen, Moncrief. Maybe she can, I don't know, Kristen. Look like you're doing really good out there. You got a hold.
Get you another pair.
You got a hold. I'm trying to just subtly tell her that I want some free stuff. I think I just said optical. I done said Twix in between. Holler at Christian.
Some of those transition lenses.
Yeah, absolutely. Come on, Christian. We know you got it. We see you out there. And as always, this is the home of Black Lives Matter, Injustice or Else. And man, and also, like I said, this is our first podcast, Jody, and today you got me and Jody. Everybody else is off for the day. So what's up, Ruth? What's up, Julian? And everybody else that decided to call in, work today, even though we don't get paid. How you going to call in and you don't even get paid? Well, we'll figure that out. Maybe we need to call in. But, hey, look, I think that covers, one of the things that I wanted to do was to have a Kwanzaa Nguzo Saba principle of the week. And if you're not familiar with Kwanzaa or the Nguzo Saba, Dr. Malana Karanga created Kwanzaa in 1966 as a celebration, an African American celebration of values. He attached some Swahili names to the values, so it kind of sounds African, but the values are nonetheless all the things that Big Mama, Grandmama, and if your mama was old enough to know she was talking about her too. But I'm gonna get into that after we do your introduction. And what do you have on for 2022?
What's up, everybody? Jody J. Summers, child of the system, better known as Spoken Truth. I'm the treasurer of this wonderful organization and board member of a whole bunch of others and all that good stuff. For the people out there listening, thank you again for joining us on the first show of the year. 7 years.
That's right.
A long time. But for those of you, again, that are listening, I am a brown-skinned big bear of a man that's covered in tattoos and crystals and bones and stones, actually, from as I travel with art and poetry and activism and politics and cooking and being a handyman and trying to help people along the way as best as I possibly can. I think that's a good description of me. Also, for those of you, my gender pronouns would be him, he, and we. The we being part of me that does all this stuff in the community selflessly without trying to gain some type of notoriety or fame or feeling that I'm doing this for you, so you should like me. I am so not that person. And yeah. So, as we normally start off, and again, it's the beginning of the year. We'll shake off the dust and
Right.
people calling off. Just for a note of the mental stuff that I do see on a daily basis. Keep yourself healthy. Tell your family you love them. Tell them you miss them if you do. Don't let a moment go by without what we see going on in the larger sphere of the world, and you just miss the opportunity. Um,
All right, now you've introduced yourself. I introduced myself. You know what? You completely blew off Ruth. That's in the green room.
well,
And
I didn't see Root.
man,
I'm
but
trying to see. That's okay. First show of the year, he just go put me out there. I'm gonna throw some more sugar cubes to the interns who didn't just highlight Root.
right, they it's almost like they should have, but I think they had it in for you. All right, I think you got it for Christmas. All right, I kind of did it in right
Everybody
there.
got crystals and stones for Christmas. I can give coal.
Okay, all right, all right. Hey, listen. This is CSRN Video Minutes, our weekly podcast. We just introduced ourselves, the he and him. Did you do the him, he, they, and we and us? All right.
All of those titles.
All right, that's awesome. Hey, listen, Ruth. Hey, welcome, welcome, welcome. I hope you didn't hear everything that Jody said. You know, I'm always Team Ruth, always that.
It's good to see your face and your fro.
Oh, it's good to see you guys as well.
Hey, listen, who are you? What do you have on today?
My name is Ruth Leonard. I am the administrative lead for CSRN. I am a brown skin complected Black woman. I'm wearing glasses, a gold rope chain, some gold earrings, and a sweatshirt that says Toledo across the front. A gray sweatshirt with Toledo in white across the front that I bought from Jute Move.
Oh, okay, all right, okay. I was going to say, wow, that's anything else on that shirt, you know, because usually y'all have I'm black and I'm proud. Don't f with me, and all that. You know how young people do.
Get to what I see. I'm wearing our first Black Lives Matter.
Oh,
Aw.
okay, all
And
right,
then it's to the childhood trauma series. Never mind.
all right. Hey, listen, what we're going to do right now, we're going to get right into our mission statement and then our guiding principles. We're going to take a quick break and we're going to come back with some of the highlights of 2021. What stood out to you? What are some of those benchmarks that you think that we made? Then we're going to take a short break and come back with what are some of the goals that you like to see CSRN for 2022? All right. So, what about the mission statement?
So, for all of the new LLCs, organizations, entrepreneurs, boards, nonprofits, and everything like that, one thing that you must stand on is a foundation. This mission statement and our guiding principles are our foundation. So 10, 20, 30 years from now, when you no longer see our faces, you'll still have people to guide you in the things that we wanted to see stand strong. That there won't be just pandering to get views or likes or donations, that you are here for a purpose, whether there are sponsorships, donations, or it's just you going into your bank account to make sure that that podium needs to be there, because that happens a lot in activism. So, this is our mission statement. We are the Community Solidarity Response Network of Toledo, formed on November 25th, 2014, the day after it was announced that the killer, a Ferguson, Missouri police officer, of Michael Brown, an unarmed teenager, would not be indicted. We bring awareness to the injustices experienced by Black men, women, and children who are disproportionately murdered, attacked, provoked, and harassed by law enforcement. Police brutality has to end. We bring awareness to the fact that most often, police brutality goes without consequence and accountability. Police impunity has to end. We utilize the tactics of protest, civil disobedience, event disruption, and citizen advocacy to give voice to those who are otherwise voiceless. We facilitate progressive, community-based events that help foster self-development, and we discuss measures to hold local leadership accountable to their sworn duties, be they politician, clergy, law enforcement, educators, etc., etc. We want justice, equal justice under the law. We want justice applied equally to all, yes, all, regardless of class, creed, or color. For all lives to matter, Black lives must matter. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
All right, let me pick that up that just fell. What I'm going to do right now is read our guiding principles, and this is really important that when we come together as a group, we have some things already in place so that we don't hurt each other. Activism is a trauma-based activity where it might appear that the only things that we advocate for are things that are going wrong. And often we lift up those who are already, doing something positive in the community, but nonetheless, bringing different personalities together, especially within our activist community or protest culture, we got to have something that binds us together. And this is it. This is our CSRN guiding principles. All Black lives matter. Queer Black lives, trans Black lives, formerly and presently incarcerated Black lives, poor working class Black lives, differently abled Black lives, Black men and women lives, immigrant Black lives, Black elderly and children lives. All Black lives matter and are the creators of this space. We throw no one under the bus. We rise together. Ashe.
Ashe.
And that means one who changes a thing or one who makes a thing happen. Thriving instead of surviving, our vision is based on the world we want, not the one we're currently in. We seek to transform, not simply react. We want our people to thrive, not just exist. Think beyond the possible. Ashe?
Ashe.
Experimentation and innovation must be built into our work. Embrace the best tools, practices, and tactics, and leave those behind that no longer serve us. Ashe?
Ashe.
Ashe.
Evaluation and assessment must be built into our culture. Critical reflection must be a part of all of our work. We learn from our mistakes and our victories. Ashe?
Ashe.
Ashe.
Struggle can exist in positive environments. We must be honest with one another by embracing direct, loving communication. Ashe?
Ashe.
Ashe.
Love, self-love is practiced in every element of all we do. Love and self-love must be a driver of our work and an indicator of our success. Without this principle and without healing, we will harm each other and undermine our movement. Ashe?
Ashe.
Ashe.
360-degree vision. We honor past struggles and wisdom from elders. The work we do today builds the foundations of movements of tomorrow. We consider our mark on future generations. Ashe?
Ashe.
Ashe.
Self-care means we build resilient spaces by budgeting time, energy, and resources for healing. Self-care is a regular, consistent, intentional, and essential practice. Ashe?
Ashe.
Ashe.
The most directly affected people are experts at their own lives and should be in leadership at the center of our movement and telling their stories directly. Ashe?
Ashe.
Ashe.
Training and leadership development should be fundamental. Our movement must constantly grow and leadership must constantly multiply. Ashe?
Ashe.
Ashe.
I think I put a little bit extra sauce on the most directly affected people are experts at their own lives. So you don't need to be telling us what to do. We know what it is, all right? We know what it is. I'm getting kind of hot at myself, all right? All right. Hey, listen, family. We're going to take a short break. We're going to come back and discuss some of the benchmarks that we made for 2021. And it's weird to be saying 2021 is gone, and we're
You can be gone.
Oh, okay. All right. I don't know what that means, but we're in 2022. So stay tuned. We got a short break. We'll be right back. This is the CSRN Weekly Podcast Video Minutes. We'll be right back.
Hey, I'm Dr. P. Not only am I a leadership coach, I'm a change agent and I'm a race scholar. I've used my study of race to dismantle systems and organizations, but I also use that to help you as the individual become a better leader for your families and for your community.
All right, we are back. This is CSRN Video Minutes, our weekly podcast. If you're in the chat, do like Adisha Schuler does and say what's up to us. So what's up, Adisha? Also see some others watching. Put something in the chat, a thumbs up, a black fist. Let us know that you're watching. We're here for you because this is the work that we do. Even though we're not able to meet in person at this time, we still wanted you to know that we're involved in the community. Things are getting done. We have not gone away, and we're not hard to find. Hey, that short clip that we just saw was Dr. P, the leadership coach. Do you remember where we met Dr. P?
No, it was a couple years ago.
So just in case you're watching
One of
Dr.
our forums.
Yeah.
She's actually been on several of our forums.
Reel it back
yeah,
in.
I'm moving in.
Reel it back in.
Like 3 forums.
Reel it back in.
I know we met her through Ruth.
Talk that talk. All right, okay. All right, I'm good.
So where did we meet her at?
Well, I think Ruth knew her first. All right. I didn't meet her until I got a funny Dr. P story. All right. Okay. And maybe Ruth will be able to tell the truth. All right. We're just talking. But we had a Black Lives Matter award. And one of the recipients was Dr. P. I never met her before. I know another Dr. P, but I didn't know her. And, I'm calling them all and telling them, hey, look, you got this award. We want to come by and interview you so that, we could post it. I called her, went to voicemail. I called her. I heard that sound, doo-doo-doo. I'm like, she'll pay her bills. I'm kidding, Dr. P. All right. We're trying to get her back. Look what you let me do. All right. And then I called her back and she answered the phone, but she was really under the weather. So I'm thinking, wow, she sounds older because like, oh, I just don't feel good today. I'm like, okay, I didn't thought we was doing this thing for 40 and under. I'm like, all right, Ruth can't count. So
you feel we gonna moderate?
Yeah, we will, because I'm getting ready to bring it home. All right. It's only an hour show. I'd have took them a half an hour. All right. So you know how this is gonna go. But when she got there, this lady is super young. And you're a doctor? I mean, so I was really pleasantly surprised to see how beautiful she was. I think she had blue hair, which kind of stood out. I'm like, okay, Ruth, you're friends. All right. But man, that was my first time meeting her. And ever since then, she's one of those smart people that still uses her skill set to help the grassroots. She could easily take her degrees and be up and out of here. All right. But when she came back to facilitate, I think was our a couple of things that we did, forums that, I got a lot of respect for her. What about you, Ruth? How did you come in contact with Dr. P, the leadership coach?
Okay, so when we had that Black Lives Matter award, I didn't know her. I think I may have met her that day, but I had always heard about her and just like known about her because we know a lot of the same people. And I had always been in awe of her just in what she had done, in what I had been told that she had done. And so when I finally did meet her, it was like meeting a sister for the first time. And it was just like, oh my gosh, girl, we finally met. And I think from then on, we just kind of just kept running into each other to the point that throughout the pandemic, there would be days that I would call her at like 1:00 in the morning, and we'd be on the phone till 3:00 in the morning, just talking and planning and just having just like a good Black woman time.
Wow.
And
Guys would never do that. Why don't you call me at 1 in the morning? All right, okay, I'm sorry.
I got female supporters.
Okay, all right, okay. Okay, all right. So, wow, so you're judging now. Okay, all right. All right, I feel left out.
I see my content and I go to the views.
Okay.
To the people that need the support.
Okay, all right. All right.
That just sounds so weird.
That's okay. That's okay. We're used to it, Jody. You know what else, Ruth? I'm thinking about Dr. P, and I think this is how all of us got to know her. We were having a Black Lives Matter. We were having a Black Lives Matter award, and we wanted to find, I think, a host, or we were having a just hang with me. We're having another political forum, and we wanted to have a host. And sometimes I know that older people will keep doing the same thing. So I called somebody and I said, hey, look, we're having this forum. Are you able to host it? His name is Dominique Warren, younger person, super smart. All right. Super smart. And I love young people that I can learn from. And he's one of those. And he said, well, you know what? I'm not even going to be in town, but I do know someone. So he gave me the number of Rashia G, whom I've never heard of. And Rashia did such a great job with the forum that when we had our Black Lives Matter forum, I'm like, Rashia, hey, look, we want you to host this, and we want you to do everything.
Rashia.
So she came up with some individuals. I think that Tim Petaway Jr. was one of those. And there was a couple of others. So thank you, Rashia. Thank you, Dominique Warren. What are you doing? Like
2 for 2 on the name.
Because you called her Rashia.
Did I say? Oh, I'm sorry. I always just use people's street names. I don't use their government names. All right. Because Rashia is doing a lot of consulting out there. Now we'll let the government know that our sister coming up. All right, okay. Oh
my God.
First time back.
I'll say Rashia. All right, Rashia. I was trying to, hold you down. But yeah, Rashia. And thanks for correcting me. Please correct me so I could stand corrected. I don't mind doing that. But we met a lot of interesting individuals, which kind of leads to the next thing that we wanted to talk about was 2021. What were some of your highlights, some of the benchmarks that you think we made even during a pandemic, deep in the pandemic? What comes to your mind?
Individually or as an organization?
I think that even your individual stuff we claim on our taxes.
I think that's separate sheets, though.
Oh, okay.
Well, I mean, it is. I guess you can say all the results of this. So I know I'm going to be long. I made a movie of it, actually. Let's go Ruth first.
Okay. All right. Ruth, I had a couple of things in the hopper that I was going to mention. I'm going to name them, and you tell me what you think.
Okay.
All right. One of the first things that come to mind that we did in 2021 was we did 2 political forums, and they were in person. They weren't online because this is the time that a lot of people were doing the virtual forums. Mm-hmm. And we decided to do not only the mayoral forum where we had Yen Scotland and Charmaine Ivy show up. The other 2 candidates couldn't make it, so we didn't waste any energy on them. We just, put it all on Yan and Charmaine. What were your thoughts for that? And we also had another within less than a month, and that's a lot of planning.
Yes.
Dude, that's a lot of planning. What were your thoughts on those two things that I thought CSRN did a great job on?
I think that the mayoral forum showed the political landscape, I think, for candidates who were not doing or who were not running a traditional campaign. And I say that tongue in cheek because I know that Jan Scotland is a Black Republican, but I always consider that to be non-traditional. But that's neither here nor there. I think that we gave a platform to show that we do support all candidates. I think that's something that's really important in this day and age, to show that anyone can run for office, and we are willing to give whomever decides to run for office a platform to let their voice be heard. I think that keeps a lot of people from wanting to run because they feel like they won't have the opportunity to have their ideas heard out in the open. So that's one of the things that I really respect about the work that we do. It's not just the big names or the big wigs. It's actual, like, anyone who wants to have their voice heard, we give them that opportunity. I think that we saw that again in the city council forum, where any and everyone who was running for one of those 6 positions had the opportunity to come and let the community know what their political platform was. And we didn't intentionally make it so that it was one party versus another party. We kept all party lines open, so that there couldn't be this conversation about whether or not CSRN is supporting one party over another. I think we all have our own personal ideas about politics, but when it comes to the work that CSRN does, when it comes to putting out the information, it's always nonpartisan, as long as it meets the needs of the people who will be most directly affected.
Right, and this is going to sound strange, but I'm going to give a shout out to the Lucas County Republican headquarters, because in order to contact Jan Scotland as the candidate, we gave them a call and they had to scramble to get us information. The same with I think Tony Dia, the same with Ron Murphy, the same with some of the other Republican candidates, that we definitely open the door so that they can come and talk about their vision in our community. And it was on them if they wanted to show up or not. And it doesn't add to what we do or nor take away if they decide to have their schedule booked that they can't make it. But we don't mind calling whoever it takes to get the job done. And I'll say another benchmark I thought that we reached was being involved with the Toledo, I hope I'm saying this right, the Toledo Recovery Act, where the federal government had dispersed some funds for Toledo, and particularly the disadvantaged and underserved communities. And I thought it was great that we were there. You were, I think, at every last one.
Every last one.
I was there for
directly after Chicago.
Right, I was there for a few to listen to Donnie Miller, who was speaking on behalf of the city of Toledo's planning, and I wish they would have just had someone from the city of Toledo be the facilitator, because Donnie couldn't possibly know everything.
Right.
But she did her best to facilitate to the best of her ability. But I really think that Wade and his staff should have picked among the staff of the people that's receiving the grant that know the most, that will be able to come out,
And say, defending too many people. But okay, so from the political side, being an elected official, there are reasons why they couldn't. Because essentially, when we got the notice, it's so weird to say, but we got the notice in a week, and we have 48 hours to ratify. So, and it was explicit that no person, that this was not city councils, this was not the mayor's, this was the city's decision. Whatever may have changed or has not, but on that front, I kind of applaud my fellow politicians. Still, words is weird coming out of
but
my
that's
mouth.
okay. It's 2022
for that stuff, because it was like with everything going on with the virus and the thing we can't speak about and all that stuff. It was kind of shocking sitting in chambers hearing that, because I was at the initial thing when we decided that these forums were going to happen. So it's interesting, and I applaud Donnie. I applaud, I want to say Ignacio.
Yeah.
Got his name right. For being there at all of them, and even Wade for hiding in the balconies and stuff like that. He still showed his face somewhat. But yeah, I'm looking forward to results for all that. I know I got on and spoke 3 times publicly about the community hubs and everything. So I believe you got on once and said something on camera.
Yeah. Sure did. I think that was enough. All right. Take it or let it alone. But I'm just was proud that at something that big in the city that was happening, we weren't just sitting back and watching. We were actually, involved, and you were even more involved than I knew you were involved. All right. Next time, let me know. But anyway, what were your thoughts on that, Ruth, and how everything transpired for the Toledo Recovery Act?
I think that it was an opportunity to operate democratically that I was always wary of. I think that when it comes to local politics, I have seen the dog and pony show of showing that you care, of making it appear as though you care, of saying all the right things to all of the right people, only to do what you want to do in the end. And I did not attend, and I can be 100% honest. I did not attend the meetings that the mayor hosted because I was always under the assumption that he was going to do exactly what he did. Where you have all of these really good, honest meetings with community members, and then in the end, you decide to create a budget that benefits the police in a way that you have always campaigned on. I think that's the one thing that Wade has been consistent in his desire to have more police officers, regardless of how the community responds. When there are obvious needs for other entities and other opportunities. So when you look at $180 million and what I think almost 50% of it goes to police in the city, and then you have $2 million that's been allocated for youth programming through grants. I think that it's interesting to see. I know that city council still has to make their final decisions on how the budget plays out, but I do know that with the exception of, I believe, Katie, everyone on city council agreed to the budget as it was created. And I'm just interested to see what the city looks like in a year or 5 years from now.
Yeah.
What?
No, I mean, for me, it's too many circles, too many people, too of understanding. Like, yeah, I can write books about it and create art about it, but until enough people wake up and start demanding stuff, that they gonna keep doing that. because they're just gonna see you next election term, and you're gonna forget. And then it's the same, like you said, dog. Especially here, where it's like literally you know everybody. Your politician's down the street, so for me, it's more of a, I don't know, a giving in, because I would hope and maybe like to see some of those people that were at those forums that were passionate about healthcare, about drug prevention, about community hubs and food desert that we had created, and see how that affects with adding more officers to where they're not doing enough right now. And like Julian said, if you keep inflating this budget when you got extra money instead of spending it, and I'm paraphrasing, what happens when you don't have those funds?
Right.
The last thing that I wanted to mention about what we were involved in before we take a short break, and we're going to come back and talk about what are some of the goals that you'd like to see CSRN achieve in 2022. I wanted to mention our involvement regarding the violence in our community and the gun violence. And I think that sometimes if something appears to be working or effective, instead of inventing another thing, strive to support that. And this year we had an opportunity to work with Juwan Armour and the Violence Interrupters, Save Our Children, campaign, where they were going, ordinary people. We had met them, ordinary people, not like us, not professionals or anything like that. We're going into the community, just checking on people. And they were wearing orange shirts, and we had them on to let people know that these people aren't from Chicago, all right? Because even though the concept and language of violence interrupters comes from a Chicago-based group, and it's okay to use best practice and evidence-based programming for your city, and then making some tweaks to make it your own. All right, we did the same thing with our
mission statement,
with our solidarity pledge, with our guidelines. So you got to pull from something. But if you keep, I'm repeating something that Sean Mahone said: if nothing changes, nothing changes. So we had an opportunity to champion Juwan and his staff to do what they do. And I like to see what they're doing now. All right. It's 2022. So maybe we can call.
This is our 7th year. We're definitely going to be not just checking back on past organizations we've worked with, past award recipients and stuff. I mean, to make it to that point is amazing. And I don't see enough organizations that do the whole, which I'm glad we've never done, feed a homeless person, snap a picture, see them 6 months from now.
Right.
See them a year from now. And that's, I think, probably what we're going to try and focus on this year. But I'm spoiling the beans.
No, but it's almost like a where they are now. Dr. P, where is she at? Is she doing bad? All right.
She is not. She's thriving in abundance. Limitless.
There needs to be a mute button for just me, all right, on here. But I think that's a great idea, and I think that's going to be one of our goals, 2022. Ruth, right. But that's when we come back from break. Ruth, before we take a short break and come back, was there anything that comes to mind that you've seen us do, or maybe you were involved in individually that made a difference, that you feel made a difference for 2021?
I'm trying to think because I don't want to get my years mixed up. I feel like 2020 and 2021 kind of just blended together. But
and they do. Technically, it's the same year.
Okay.
So you go ahead. It's the same year.
I really enjoyed going to BG. This past Juneteenth, and working with Brave and helping them to kick off their full campus-wide Juneteenth celebration. I think that was probably a highlight. of the year because it allowed, it felt like a passing of the torch to the next generation to say, all right, you guys, you know the work that needs to be done. This is like our day, and I love to be a part of it. But just to see what they were able to put together and to collaborate to create, to the point that I just had to show up and just bring myself, was beautiful.
Wow. See, once you say that, I got to talk about Alexia Sims and Gutter Dave for organizing the Juneteenth celebration at the Doug, and Shannon, right, and Shannon Wyatt for organizing in her group organized the Juneteenth celebration group
at the Glass Pavilion.
At the Glass Pavilion. So yeah, and yeah, technically 2020 and 2021 are the same year. They just have two different numbers. But don't let it fool you. It's the same. It's the same thing.
We ain't doubling up this year.
Right. Don't let. Right. Well, it depends on. I'll let you know in December if we have to lump this year too. Hey, let's take a short break. We're going to come back and talk about CSRN's goals and objectives for 2022. So hang tight. We'll be right back. This is the CSRN Video Minutes, our weekly podcast. We will be right back.
Did you know addiction is a disease, not... Did you know addiction is a disease, not a moral dilemma? The opioid epidemic and substance use have a major impact on communities of color and many people's lives. Wasion Wellness Recovery Support Center offers culturally relevant, inpatient and outpatient behavioral health treatment and recovery support services to any Ohioan struggling with addiction, mental health, or finding sober-safe housing. We must recognize that treatment is available and accessible to all. If you are in need of treatment or want to find out more information, you can call 1-888-728-2713 to talk to someone or schedule an appointment.
Now you can get the same uncompromising truth you've come to expect from the Final Call newspaper on all your connected devices. Subscribe to the Final Call Digital Edition today. Go to subscribe.finalcalldigital.com.
All right, we are back. CSRN Weekly Video Minutes, our weekly podcast. I am with Jody Summers, Spoken Truth, Child of the System, Tears of the Wounded, Let's Eat, That's the Meal, all of that stuff that he does, and so much more. And we also have the lead to the administrative core of CSRN, our sister. We call her Activist Bay, but y'all call her Ruth, all right? Miss Leonard, Miss Leonard if you nasty, but that's real old, ain't it? I should, okay.
You gotta get better on speed down.
Oh, okay. All right. There's plenty park benches to sleep at for me, all right? And listen, before we get right into
filmmaker, double nominated for 20 Under 40, teacher, whole bunch of other stuff. Right, and just had a big intro. And that thing that gives us that extra touch. That's what Ruth does, and it's really awesome to have that level of a person, with us, especially being young, being youthful, and not being afraid to speak up. I want to give a shout out to C.D. Dawson Chambers and Alfred Frank that's watching, Georgia Daniel, Adisha Schuler that's watching, everybody that's watching. Thank you for supporting us. Thank you for watching this podcast. This just really for our community.
and it's awesome to have anyone tune in. Now, having said that, we've got a limited amount of time and a whole bunch of stuff to talk about. CSRN's goals for 2022, as you see it right now, and as anything, these things may change depending on what's happening in our community and what seems to be a greater issue. For you, Jody, what do you see yourself, your companies, your businesses doing in 2022?
Well, I'm going to lump some things I didn't do personally, and I'm going to ask Brother Washington and Ruth some of your personal achievements too, because again, we're not a monolith, and we do a lot of stuff outside of the organization that I think needs to be celebrated as well. Even if being here helped push those things forward, those are still our memories, our little trophies we can put on the top of the black list.
Thought about it like that. Okay. Who are you really? All right. Okay. All right.
So I guess moving forward, and it's also part of one of the things that I was happy to do last year, is raising the Pan-African flag for the third time in the history of Toledo. So we did that twice last year, and I look forward to doing that. I look forward to having our open meetings again, at least maybe once a month, couple months, seeing how the world goes, maybe 2023, but still,
okay.
I look forward to, because this has been 2 years, and again, most organizations don't make it with 2-3 people talking to themselves to the camera. Okay. So I miss that connection of new ideas. Like, shout out also to Brianna for being our intern. That was awesome. Happy birthday to her. I know she recently just had a birthday and everything, but just probably, I don't know, we might flip this year and do a scholarship. I think we might need a scholarship depending on if the school's actually going to be in.
Yeah, that'll be a problem. We collected all this money, now the school's closed. Hey, all right.
Yep, we did the awards. We can double back to maybe a scholarship, and those are my personal things I want to see. Of course, we got the federal forms coming. But I want to take all the good stuff. What's a couple things you got?
Wow, I think you just took all the good stuff. Well, I'm looking forward to us being more politically involved. Well, what does that mean? It seems like we saw you doing the forums and things like that. Well, what happens after the polls close? And one of the things that our brother from RH, the president of the African American Chamber of Commerce, he had asked me this question because he helped to sponsor our city council forum. And he said, well, listen, Brother Washington, I don't mind supporting you, but what's going to happen after the polls close? And I'm like, well, we have to wait and see. Okay, so he's like, well, wait and see what? And then what? So I would like for CSRN to be more involved with holding our elected officials accountable. The same way I would be involved with having a protest activity, with having some direct action. I'm all for it for that. All right. However, there's something else that needs to happen too, is some level of accountability. Yeah. That's what he wanted to ask me. So that's one of the things that I like to do. I like to see us do, and I wouldn't mind spearheading that.
As soon as we can get back in office, I got some things to say.
Right.
I don't like Zoom.
Right. And Jody talked about the raising of the red, black, and green flag. And a couple of years ago, we raised it for the first time. And that was with the help of Dr. William Perryman, who was not the president of the NAACP at that time, but he was at a meeting, and I was talking about this happening. It hadn't happened yet, and I was letting everybody know that, no, it's going to happen. I don't know how it's going to happen, but if you don't want it to happen, stay out the way. And he had asked me a couple of questions. He said, well, did you contact this person and that person? And I'm like, no, because I know who I'm supposed to contact. In reality, I didn't know. And he helped us by pointing me to the Port Authority, and then pointing me to Pete Gherkin, who's the Lucas County Commissioner. So that flag is a great chance that wouldn't have happened without him intervening. And one of the things that a lot of us as adults do, we will know a way, but we're not going to tell someone. All right. We will sit back and watch somebody be frustrated about not being able to achieve something, and they never give us those little jewels that we needed. And he did. Ultimately, when we were going to raise it the first time, some chicanery had happened where in the 11th hour they told us that we weren't going to raise it. However, they sort of kind of asked me, don't make a big fuss about it. I'm making a big fuss. Yep. And we had a press conference ready to go. All right. Right down on the first floor. Because I'm not, it's like, you're not telling people that something is happening, and they tell me that it's happening, and then get to the goal line and they move the goal line. Mm-hmm. Everybody's going to know everything, but whatever happened, they came downstairs and said, "Hey, it's back on." All right. With the mask before I was gonna say better be, but I had to. Sometimes you have to practice some humility when you see a win. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward, as Jody said, some open meetings. Individually, I'm looking for myself to get a little bit healthier. I'll be 59 this year, and I'm not getting any younger. And I would like to really implore Black men to get checkups. If you're 40 years old or over, it's time to get a colonoscopy. It's time to start considering having the prostate exam. Don't listen to what somebody else tells you how it is. This will save your life. And if you wait till you're 60 to decide to get checked out because stuff is already happening, and it's too late. So that's one of the things that I'm doing. I joined the Bike Rides Matter group last year, and I had my bike, which had all the lights on it, which made people start thinking a little bit different about me. All right, but that's okay. All right, been kicked out of better places, but I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to that, and I realize that some of these goals might change. It might shift. Something might have to be priority first. But those are some of the things that I'm looking forward to CSRN doing. And I'm looking forward to us coming up with some things that I have never thought of. Yes. That's the beauty of what we do. When we come up with that thing that's not even in existence, but now it is. All right? Yeah. Want to check in with Ruth now? I hope we didn't take all of them. All right?
No, because we still got to do like what we're personally, but still, Ruth. Okay. Where would you like to see us go in the next?
I think that I would like to see CSRN on I'd like to see us on a bigger platform. I think that we have paid our dues to the point that I think we can really start to have the conversation about needing CSRN's sign off on whether or not something is beneficial to the community. I think that we have had, I think that we've created some really good partnerships that I think can get us just taking it up a notch. I think, I think that we have shown ourselves to be the go-to for a lot of, I know for city council forums. I think that we have really found our niche there. But I think that we can broaden our horizons to, and we have to different parts of political elected officials. So I know that we had the sheriff's forum, we've had the mayoral forum. I think we can circle back around to the Board of Education forum, and just really honing in on those forums. I think that's where we do shine as an organization. I'm looking forward to whatever we decide to do for our Black History Month. I think that we have done a really good job of, whether it's a scholarship or an award ceremony, whether it's virtual or in person, we have shown that we can adapt.
That's
I
right.
look forward to what we do this year for Black History Month. Personally, I am looking at two different, rather big ideas that I would like to accomplish over the next 12 months. The first one being the Black Mental Health Fair, focusing on Black men, and finally finishing the editing on Black Men Unfiltered as a web series. And then also creating or hosting a Black Girls Hair Expo. I think one of the biggest things for Black girls as you grow up is learning how to take care of your hair. And for a lot of women, they would have benefited from having an expo the way that I hope to accomplish it, so that they can learn how to take care of their hair texture and not try to adapt to what someone else says because their hair looks good, but they may not have the same type of hair. That's something that happens a lot with young Black girls, because they don't realize how to take care of their hair or the needs of their hair. And so, yeah, I think that those are going to be the two big things that personally I'm looking forward to doing. But 9 times out of 10, CSRN is going to be right there with me.
Okay.
So just letting you all know, though, those are the two things that I'm going to jump out there and say: the Black Mental Health Expo and the Black Girls, or the Black Mental Health Fair and the Black Girls Hair Expo.
I'm definitely going to throw my hat in helping with both of those, because I do know quite a few female African-American stylists that own their own shops because of all this stuff that we've been doing. And I can start reaching out and seeing, because you have to be careful. Do you know this person? Do you not know? Are y'all good? And figure out who can all come together to, because I know they would love something like this. So, yeah. Teach in. We already do the barber dudes and stuff like that to do it for the brothers. So I love that idea. Yeah.
All right. I think that I had already talked about my personal thing that I like to see, which was, go ahead.
So I gotta be the host. 3 or 4 things that you did last year out of everything of 2021 that you feel super accomplished about.
Well, I think I can mention one was starting to ride a bike. All right. I think that helped me so much. I hadn't ridden a bike probably in maybe 40 years. Let's see, 40 years ago, I would have been 18. Was I riding a bike at 18? I don't think so. Was I riding a bike at 15? Probably. 14? I guess so. So it's been a long time since I've rode a bicycle. All right. And being able to actively engage in riding at the metro parks, I thought that was a big accomplishment for me. And I thank my wife for buying me a really nice bike when I didn't want to buy one for myself. The next thing that I feel really accomplished about was I lost a lot of weight. I was weighing, for my height, I was nearly at 250. And if we were to go back and see some pictures that we took at the Padua Center, there are some pictures that I took that I just looked extremely, extremely wide. And a few things, but that's why I was talking about men's health. There were a couple of things that happened that let me know that I had, I went beyond I exceeded the limits, for my personal self. So I'm glad that I lost a considerable amount of weight. My third thing is starting to walk for my health. I mean, because there's a lot of people that walk, but they may not be walking for their health. Just because you don't have a car, just because you don't, walking just to walk and walking for your health could be two different things. And I was not forced, but I was kind of compelled by Yvette, and I'll be mentioning her a lot because a lot of my personal improvements is because of her. That we started walking at the park, and that contributed a lot to my health. And I think my last thing was pretty much giving up soda. I think that there are so many empty calories that we take in by drinking all types of soda. It could be diet soda, it could be 0-calorie soda, it could be energy drinks, and it affects different people different ways. And unfortunately, if Julian was here, and he would talk about addiction, and I'm recovering just as a lot of people in the community, and we have an addictive personality. It may not be something illegal, but we'll take something to extreme. So I was pleased that I was able to practically eliminate soda by learning this trick with carbonated water and the Mio
The drops.
flavor, the drops. All right. If you take a can, and this is a pro tip for everybody, and I didn't come up with this. I just happened to live with some people that will see me doing something that's definitely against my health and say, hey, look, Dad, hey, look, looks like you're, doing too much. And of course, I'll always, no, y'all don't know what you're talking about, but they know what you're talking about. Yeah, if you were to put a few drops of those water flavoring things, they're 0-calorie. All right, the carbonated spring water is 0-calorie. It's just like soda with no sugar, no calories, and that's what I do, and that's helped out a lot. And my last thing was rekindling my relationship with my weight set that's in the basement. And there are no more, is not just a hanger for old clothes and stuff like that. And I think that, and especially if you're an activist or a lover of humanity like us, we put a lot of love out. We put a lot of compassion, a lot of energy out to see if people are okay. But in doing that, sometimes I could put myself on the back burner or not even on the stove at all. And it comes out for a lot of us sometime in our health, sometime in our emotional wellness, sometimes in all different types of ways. So those are some of the benchmarks that I've done personally that have helped a lot. And I'm gonna continue doing those things and advocating for older men to just do something. You don't have to grow old if you don't want to. Some of us are older mentally than we are physically, but you can stay young. Does not mean that you're going to live forever, but we don't have to rush ourselves to the grave. So those are my things that I've done, and some of the things that I look forward to doing individually.
Ruth?
No.
Did you catch her off guard?
Every time. I think, okay, so I don't know. I'm still learning.
Okay, well, let's
Growing.
You want me to go first?
Yeah, or give her a CSRN pass.
Please.
4 things that you were happy for last year.
I just said CSRN pass,
All right.
and he's
Okay.
pressing you.
Say the nomination, but that's okay.
Oh, you're still pressing her. I can just hear Bruce saying,
Okay, you know what? I am happy for the fact in the last year, my niece graduated from high school and she is now a freshman at the University of Maryland. I got to throw my mother or help throw my mother an amazing retirement party.
Okay.
Because she retired after 24 years as a guidance counselor. Through from PG County community or PG County schools. What else did I do last year? I can't. I was on the news a lot.
Any new income come in?
From a job?
I got a job.
Okay, all right.
I got a job. I left. I took a break from teaching because I finished up my master's at the end of the year prior and just took a second to recalibrate, and then I got a job, and I currently am teaching social studies and English and language arts to 6th, 7th, and 8th graders. I had a really good day today, which was surprising because it was the first day back, but I think we're all getting used to each other again. Yeah, that's what I got. I mean, like we're coming up on the 1-year anniversary of the insurrection, so that always.
That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
That's
Oh,
awesome.
that's funny.
Well, maybe next week we'll have an insurrection breakdown. All right.
Yeah, we'll do another recap of the recaps because I remember that too because we were doing the recap on what happened for the May 30th, May Day or stuff around that time. So that was interesting. Yeah.
Man, oh man.
Mm-hmm.
So, now that you pressed us, all right, to either say stuff or think of stuff,
give you that little push.
All right, and I'm glad that you did.
Again, the holidays are difficult. A lot of people forget how important that year was to them because they get to the I'm not with family or stuff like that. So I did it to myself this year. Probably for the first time where instead of taking my year and looking at chunks and everything, I went through the whole entire year.
Okay.
Everything. And I made a movie out of it. It's like 34 minutes long and I broke it up into 5 parts based on months and events and stuff like that. But before I knew I was going to make that movie, I had to list out some things that I was happy of. There was a lot towards the end of the year that brought me down.
All right. So what are your 4 things?
So it was a long list, but I'm just going to filter out a couple of them.
Okay. All right. You heard him, America. All right.
Jody.
Okay.
And a lot of them are related to my personal growth. But if it hadn't been for this, like I said a couple of years ago, Black Lives Matter saved my life. And I don't know where I would be right now. So I got to be in the first feature film made in Toledo called Sons of Toledo. We're still waiting back from the indie circuit and its treatment to see if we can go out to Cali and represent the 419, the mud like we're supposed to.
Okay.
But I know we are planning another screening coming up. If you missed it at Momentum. I was nominated for a national award for Best Storyteller. Trips and stuff really is nice. I went to the Grand Canyon, but that's a kind of gloss over because we raised the Pan-African flag again.
Okay.
And that was something I didn't see myself doing as a kid. This is like my second book got entered into the public library system.
And what book was that?
That is Tears of the Wounded, Volume 2, My Words Only. So you can read that, which also has the history of us in there in a few poems. So whether they like it or not, you can read the Dear Mr. Trump pieces and all that, and it's available in your public system. When
Julian does that, we know that we got
I'm trying to do stuff that's not just like I created new poems, books, and stuff like that. I'm always doing that. So just some of the things that do, I guess, poke out is movie.
Okay.
The raising of the flag, the getting my book in the library. Yeah, really traveling to the Grand Canyon and making a little mini movie out of that and coming back. I think more importantly was going there, having that experience, and coming back and bringing everyone that I knew or could meet a piece of the Grand Canyon, which I'm out. I got one more geology back, but everybody else got that. So,
all right.
Yeah, out of this list and everything. And then my fourth thing is I donated more money than I've made in the last 7 years based off of the work that I put in for the last 7 years.
Nice.
That's, I think, number one.
Okay, yeah. Beautiful. All right. Hey, listen, we're going to come back, loose ends, wrap up some loose ends. We've got 5 minutes of heat.
Yep.
So stay tuned. This is the CSRN Video Minutes, our weekly podcast. We will be right back. We are back. This is the CSRN Video Minutes. This is our weekly podcast, and this is the part that we talk about tying up some loose ends. Well, what's tying up loose ends? These are some of the things that we may not have got a chance to mention. Hey, I'm going to go first because we want to get to 5 minutes of heat. I heard that you get ready to drop something heavy today. One of the first things I wanted to mention was we had an amazing Kwanzaa event. It was virtual, the first time that it was virtual, so it was primarily Zoom. We weren't able to stream it on any platform like we're streaming this, on a video streaming platform where we're able to put it on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram simultaneously. So hopefully next year we'll be able to do that if the Toledo Kwanzaa House is still doing things virtually. If we're back open, we hope to see you soon. And also, in saying that, I wanted to incorporate some of the principles of the Nguzo Saba. And tonight, I want to focus on Nia, and that's purpose. And Nia is to make our collective vocation the building and development of our community in order to restore our people to their traditional greatness. So Nia is purpose, and all of us should have a purpose, and it will be great to have that purpose surround building of your community, building of yourself. So those are the things that I wanted to mention. And lastly, if you're available this Saturday at 10:30 at the 329 Salon, we're inviting Marjorie Harper. I hope I said her name correct. All right. Let me get to my phone, family. I got it right here. If
Morgan.
What?
Morgan Harper.
Morgan. Okay. All right. I was thinking that lady that was on a Mary Tyler Moore show. All right.
I thought you were talking about Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Yeah, we're having Marjorie Taylor Greene. All right. Bringing bats, broken glass, and tomatoes. Yep. We're having it right here. We're having Miss Harper here, 10:30. if you like to meet us at the 329 salon, that's located in the Reynolds door. There's a shopping center there with some other shops. And she's going to be here to talk about her platform. And also she's going to be here on our barbershop beauty shop tour. We're starting at 329 Salon, and the brother that owns the salon is a big fan of CSRN. And I didn't know we had fans way out there on Reynolds. All right. So obviously we're doing something right. And he said that he wanted to give back to the community, and he's seen some of the things that we've done before, and he really wanted to be involved. So he allowed 329 Salon to be the jump off point for Miss Harper to come to Toledo. She's running for Rob Portman's seat. Rob Portman is retiring from that post. So it's open. All right. And we really have a chance to have some different people running. And this will be an opportunity to support that. So if you want to join us, we'll be at Club 329 at 10:30. From there, we're going to Mr. Impeccables right there at Reynolds and Bancroft. Then we're going to be at Steve's Sport Barbershop, Sports and More Barbershop, right there on Dorr Street. We're going to H&D's further down on Dorr Street, where they had a financial literacy program a couple of weeks for young black men. Most times we're teaching young black men to be football players, basketball players, but when does financial literacy, enter? Is it after they get those huge student loans that they can't pay back? All right. So that was great that they had that. So we said, hey, look, that'll be a great place for Miss Harper. I mean, it's Harper or Morgan?
Morgan Harper.
Morgan Harper. Oh, all right. We're going to edit that part on out. All right. So Miss Harper to go to H&D's. And then we are finishing up our barbershop, beauty shop tour at Foster's. See, I don't have any hair, so I have no need to go to any of those barbershops. However, Foster's and Mr. Foster is an institution. He's been in business for quite some time, and I see him most every week when we take our Final Call newspapers in the store. He always says, hey, look, you don't even have to ask. But I ask anyway, just to sort of the customers to see, man, Brother Washington, he even asking him. Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to wrap it up at Foster's, and she's going to be there to talk about her platform. We're going to try to do a lot of live streaming during this tour, and then we're going to end it right here, right in the CSRN podcast studios. We're going to sit her down. Wait a minute. We ain't going to sit her down. She's going to be with. We ain't sitting nobody down. All right. We're going to edit that part out too. All right. Hey, the intern's going to be busy tonight. All right. Y'all better edit all that
Just
intro.
put up a sign.
Right.
Only in Vegas.
Only in Vegas. All right.
Yeah.
So we're going to be here. We're going to have Julian interview her on why she should be the candidate for now and why should we vote for her. So she agreed to come to our podcast studio, which is heavy, all right, for a person to want to do that. And those are my loose ends. So you might see some Facebook event pages, to meet us at 329 Salon, right there on Dorr Street at Reynolds. And I give that shop a lot of credit for being open to have us there like that. So those are my loose ends.
Awesome. Ruth?
Trying to think if there's anything happening between this week and next week. I think the only thing is the barbershop and beauty salon tour. Yeah, I think. Yeah, once we get those pages up, then it'll be as simple as making sure that we get as many people out as possible.
All right. Okay.
Now my only question, and this may be just like a behind the scenes thing, but are there going to be specific times that she's going to be at each location?
All right. Now that was the tricky part because we couldn't really have any hard times for her to be at each one. So we're going to try to do it big at the first shop, the 329, and
Okay.
hopefully we get some traction from that to allow others to follow us there. We really can't advertise it as come and check it out because there's still some COVID restriction type stuff.
Okay.
So we're not doing it as an event because that would make her look and us look irresponsible that we're trying to have a mass thing. Hey, I'm just letting some friends know where I'm going to be. And if you want to pull up, you can pull up. All right. So that's right. That's how, and depending on how she does at each shop, that could change too, So, but we do know we got a hard 10:30 at 329.
Okay.
All right.
Cool.
Loose ends for me is just, take vitamins, be safe, be healthy. Remember that if it's not giving you life, it's taking it. So whether that be social media, TV, video games, stressing over things you can't control, because all of this stuff also weakens your immune system. It makes you more susceptible to what is cold and flu season. So with the bits and pieces that I see, just be safe. Make sure to know your surroundings. Like you said, you were going to see friends. We're not gathering at 10,000 people concerts or stuffing ourselves in a room where we don't know necessarily how well another person treats their body.
All right. I've got some tech issues coming up, and I only have a couple more minutes before.
So with that said, that's my loose ends. Take care of yourself mentally, physically, spiritually, and always remember to reward yourself before you give rewards to everyone else.
All right.
So today's poem, of 5 Minutes of Heat, is my last poem of 2021. Already had a couple people get on my comments and let me know it brought them to tears.
Okay.
It was not the intention, but if it brings you to tears, I thank you. So let's begin. Peace. Don't yuck my yum. If I ever give you the benefit of getting to know me past the moments of being public, please don't yuck my yum. I don't care if you're allergic to it, you can't stand the sight of it, or the sound makes you want to run. That's my tasty part of my life. And it's okay if it's something you don't like. It's taken me a lifetime to develop the things that I like, that make me smile, and I'll appreciate yours with the respect they deserve if you don't yuck the things that make me smile. Please don't yuck my yum. You have no idea the things I had to sacrifice and acceptance that it took for me to call something mine. I appreciate any constructive criticism that you may have on how damaging, unnutritional, or dangerous the yummy parts of my life might be. But I know them far better than you. That's why I made them a part of me. The things that I hold special, I had to give a lot of attention to find out if they were for me. And I don't want to waste time on debating why you can't see that makes me happy. Developing these interests I have are what makes me unique. Understanding why my taste differs from others is just a small piece of the bigger scene. The larger piece being, what taste have you developed that are different from me or anyone else you know? Does your yum look different than others? Do you Ride the wave of emotions as they wash over you from something that only you like, or drift off with the rest of the rolling waves so you don't have to stand out in plain sight. I truly wish more people embraced their yums, but it's not my job to convince other people how special they might be, because then I'll be feeding into my yucks, only looking at people from the point of view I see. Please don't yuck my yums, and it will be much easier to get to know me. In peace.
All right.
News, Ruth.
Yes, I think we lost. I think we lost there. I think we lost there. But hopefully, we're gonna end this with the
yums.
Yeah, we're gonna make sure we put her back in.
There we go.
All right, let's do it like that. All right, we have her back. Listen, family, it is time that we go ahead and close out with our solidarity pledge. That's when we make our pledge to ourselves that we're going to do better by ourselves and hopefully do better by our families too. Now, I don't know who's doing the pledge tonight.
You got it with you?
Do you have the pledge?
It's on you guys.
All right. Okay. What I'm going to do, I'm going to say I, you say I, and repeat after me. And we're going to do this all the way to the end. This is our first pledge of 2022. So it's going to be special. I'm going to do it in Ruth style if I can. All right. Say I.
I.
Your name.
Jody.
Ruth.
Pledge to strive.
Pledge to strive.
To love my brothers and my sisters.
To love my brothers and my sisters.
As I love myself.
As I love myself.
I. Your name.
Jason.
Ruth.
Pledge to strive.
Pledge to strive.
To study.
To study.
To improve myself.
To improve myself.
Spiritually. Mentally. Morally. And physically. For the benefit of myself.
For the benefit of myself.
My family.
My family.
And my people.
And my people.
I. Your name.
Ruth.
Pledge to strive.
Pledge to strive.
To be a part of the solution.
To be
a part of the solution.
The process.
The process.
And not the problem.
And not the problem.
I. Your name.
Ruth.
Pledge to strive.
Pledge to strive.
To give all that I can spare.
To give all that I can spare.
Of my time.
Of my time.
My strength.
My strength.
And energy.
And energy.
To achieve. The above said.
The above said.
Now give yourselves a hand. This has been our first video minutes of 2000. Woo! Man, that is great. Listen, big shout out to everybody that was in our chat, showing love, just being there for us. It just means so much. So thanks, CD. Thanks, Al. I even think that our brother Al Bannister, all right, who always gives me some really great political tips whenever it's time to organize something. I'll call him and say, hey, slam it or jam it, and he'll let me know. Idisha Schuler and everybody that was in the chat today, Georgia Daniels, thank you for chiming in. Thank you for being there. And everybody that's going to watch this podcast. And as always, all lives can't matter until Black
lives matter.
And Black lives can't matter until
all Black lives matter.
Justice or else.
Peace.